Bart and Lisa are fighting, but it's not long until Homer quickly rushes in to break the meal up. He tells them to get the bad behavior out of their system because they are going to Mr. Burns' company picnic and he doesn't want his family to embarrass him in front of Mr. Burns. When the family arrives at Mr. Burns' mansion for the picnic, Homer once again reminds his family that they have to behave in a normal manner. Bart and Lisa quickly run off to play in the water fountain and Homer chases them after them leaving Marge and Maggie behind. Another woman carrying a baby approaches Marge and suggests placing the babies in the nursery and grab a drink together. Marge is reluctant about drinking, but then after seeing Homer chase Bart and Lisa around the backyard, she chooses to have a glass of punch. It's soon time for the father-son sack race, and Homer pressures Bart to not have them beating Mr. Burns. Meanwhile, Marge is conversing with all the wives of the workers. She becomes tipsy from the amount of punch she drank. Back to the sack race, where Smithers gives Mr. Burns a head start and then fires the starting gun. Mr. Burns is out in front of everyone when suddenly Bart plans to make a break for the finish line. Homer quickly hops ahead and tackles Bart just short of the finish line, allowing Mr. Burns to finish first. Meanwhile, Marge, intoxicated, leads all the women in a song and dance number. When Homer runs by and is shocked at Marge's behavior, he quickly whisks her away from the punch and tells her to keep it together because Mr. Burns is about to give a toast. Everyone at the picnic gathers as Mr. Burns gives a toast. He thanks everyone for coming, but tells them all to leave immediately as he threatens to release the hounds in 10 minutes. Everyone heads out, and Homer notices the family ahead of them. The son gives the father a kiss and tells him that he had a great time. Mr. Burns is impressed by this family but is insulted by Homer's pathetic attempt to gain his favor. Later on, Homer confronts the man from the perfect family ahead of him and tells him he can stop the fake cornball routine. However, the man reveals his family are actually nice, normal people in real life and don't act like this only gatherings. When the man admits pitying him, Homer finally realizes the truth. His own family has a problem. He watches a son from the normal family let his sister enter the backseat like a gentleman. She politely thanks him for the gesture. Homer witnesses Lisa and Bart arguing and fighting over seats. He turns his attention to the man's wife who is offering her husband to rest and she can drive home. The man politely refuses and starts the car. Homer then turns his attention to Marge, who's still intoxicated, and asks him to drive home before she throws up in his car. He imagines the man's family driving off to heaven, while he is driving his own family in hell. Homer goes back home in his reality now, knowing how much Marge, Bart, and Lisa embarrassed him in front of his boss. Next day, Marge and the kids eat TV dinners in the living room and watch TV together when Homer walks in and plans that tonight they're all going to eat at the dinner table like a normal family. At the dinner table, the rest of the Simpsons are not taking Homer's attempt to get them to eat like a normal family seriously and continue eating like cavemen. During his prayer, Homer expresses his dissatisfaction with his troubled family's behavior and ponders why he was cursed with those who disrespect him. When Marge and the kids claim there is nothing wrong with the family, Homer chooses to prove that there is something wrong with them. He leads the family in a tour around the neighborhood, peeking into random houses to observe their neighbors' normal family life. However, the rest of the Simpsons are unnerved by Homer's sudden rash behavior in the tour and tries to convince him that they're normal like everyone else who have familiar problems like them. He refuses to believe them, pointing out that normal families converse with each other about their day and eat at the dinner table, not ignore a family member and eating dinner while watching TV in the living room. A neighbor notices Homer spying on his family and fires warning rounds from his shotgun. By the time they got back to the safety of their house, Marge tells him that she thinks the trip is unnecessary because she and the kids feel like stalkers, invading their entire neighborhood's privacies with their families. They quickly retreat back inside to continue watching TV. Depressed by this matter, Homer visits Moe's Tavern for a drink to get away from his problems. Two patrolmen enter the bar, claiming they received reports of a neighborhood stalker. The dog suspects Homer and growls at them to pay attention. Luckily for him, the two cops are too dumb to notice anything and drag the dog away. After getting into a brief fight with Barney, Homer later sees a commercial for Dr. Marvin Monroe's Family Therapy Center. Dr. Monroe guarantees family bliss or double your money back. Homer then gets an idea to make his family normal. Marge and the kids watch an Itchy and Scratchy cartoon when Homer walks in the living room and announces he has made an appointment at Dr. Monroe's Family Therapy Center. Family is reluctant to the idea, but Homer is on a mission to make his family better. Marge tries to claim that there's still nothing wrong with their family, but Homer doesn't listen. In order to raise the $250 needed for the session, Homer pawns the TV, much to the rest of the family's horror. The therapy treatment begins as Dr. Monroe brings them into another room and sits them down. He encourages them each to draw a picture that represents the source of their unhappiness. Most of the Simpsons vent their anger out by drawing Homer as they see him, and Homer gets lost in the exercise by drawing airplanes dropping bombs on his family. When Dr. Monroe sees this, he points out to Homer that he had been paying attention. He would have known his family sees him as an abusive and stern disciplinarian. Monroe also calls him an ogre, a word that Marge and Lisa disagree with, claiming ogre is too much. Bart agrees with Monroe, making Homer furious again to attack him. Dr. Monroe calms Homer down, asks the family to try different exercises, such as the foam-padded aversion mallets that Bart turns into a hard weapon by removing the foam padding from his mallet and striking Dr. Monroe with it. Soon, Dr. Monroe sees the Simpson family is not responding to conventional treatment, so his next exercise becomes different. He places each of the Simpsons in their own chair, hooked up to deliver an electric shock. Each chair has buttons that, when pressed, will deliver an electric shock to another corresponding chair. With all the Simpsons strapped in, Dr. Monroe instructs them only to shock someone else if that person hurts them emotionally. However, the family members quickly start shocking each other over minor slights, and then things go totally off the rails and Maggie starts hitting all the buttons at random, leading to a power burnout across the entire city. Much to Mr. Burns' joy, the increased use of electricity means more money for his company. Dr. Monroe soon tires of the Simpsons and unplugs the generator, tells them that they're beyond his help and orders them to leave. Homer refuses, reminding Monroe of his double money back guarantee. Dr. Monroe grudgingly agrees and fiercely hands over $500 while ordering them to leave and never tell anyone they were ever there. The family leaves, more than satisfied given their unexpected windfall, and cannot help but feel more untied. Homer decides to use the money to buy a brand new TV, and the Simpsons happily head home.